Minutes, the gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Polis, pending which I yield myself as such time as I may consume during consideration of resolution. All time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. Madam Speaker, I ask for unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection, and the gentleman is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I rise today in support of this rule, which provides for consideration of 2 different pieces of legislation. The first of these bills transfers lands within the state of Minnesota to the benefit of the state's public school system. The rule provides for consideration of each and every amendment offered by members to the Rules Committee by the amendment deadline. The next measure of this rule allows for consideration of H.R. 5949, the FISA Amendments Act Reauthorization Act of 2012, also called the FAA Reauthorization. This legislation would reauthorize programs that are critically important to our national security. First passed in 2008, FAA has enjoyed a history of strong bipartisan support. Now, President Obama and his administration have made it clear that a clean, long-term extension of FAA is their #1 intelligence priority. That's exactly what H.R. 5949 does. Recognizing our nation's security cannot and should not wait until an emergency or the 11th hour or rush to reauthorization. The Select Intelligence and Judiciary Committees have had hearings on FAA's reauthorization. They've marked up the bill. They sent it to us months ahead of the expiration deadline. I congratulate both of these committees on their timely and dedicated work for the sake of our own safety. It is with the tools that the FAA provides to our intelligence community that we're able to monitor our nation's enemies overseas. Without this authority, the ability to track those individuals who aren't American citizens and want to do harm to this country, to the state, as it was in September 11th of 2001. I really want to stress that FISA Amendments Act applies to targeting non-U.S. citizens living outside of the United States. And the FAA also enhances civil liberty protections for Americans. The government cannot target an American overseas without first obtaining an individualized court order from a FISA court. Prior to FAA, the government was not required to obtain an individualized court order to target U.S. persons outside of the United States. This is an expansion of the civil liberties made possible by the FISA Amendment Act. As a former law enforcement officer, I know how important it is to get the information that we need to work on a case. Without good, reliable information, you can't do your job and protect the citizens, but the information must be attained in the right way. FAA is a critical tool to our intelligence community disposal in our war against terrorism. I encourage my colleagues to join me in supporting our national security by voting for FISA Amendments Act, Reauthorization Act, and with that I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Florida reserves his time. Gentleman from Colorado.
I thank the gentleman for yielding me the customary 30 minutes.